Mᴏᴜ 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Mᴏᴜ Akinyosoye. We'll be given, as we're bringing the stories on board, be it developing story or news stories, we're also taking it on a broader level, holistically looking at these issues and analyzing them for better understanding, so we can fully understand and fully grasp what the stories definitely have to give us and offer this beautiful morning. With the help of our in-house analysts, Said Fouad will be joining us over the phone to give analysis and to holistically look at these issues, to give us perspective this morning on this issue. So you're welcome on board once again. You can join us live on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, we've made the conversation quite very much easy for those that want to enjoy an audio-visual experience, want to see what's going on in the studio. You can definitely navigate that via social media platforms, specifically both Facebook and YouTube. Just go on either Facebook or YouTube, which one is more convenient for you. You search for Mᴏᴜ 98.3 FM and you get to see us live and join the conversation right there. You can definitely still converse with us via those platforms, and regardless of your location, probably you can listen via Radio Guardian or via our website, very much accessible and easy to use, www.mainlandfm.com, and you will get to join the conversation. Good morning, Said Fouad.
Good morning, Lady Mo. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing as well?
I'm doing good, very good.
All right, so you're welcome on board, Said Fouad. Good to know that you're good, and we will definitely always choose to be good, like you emphasize. I will continue to emphasize that. To choose to be good regardless of whatever, regardless of what the day naturally brings to the table, or even the country or the environment, society, whatever it brings to the table. Just choose to be good and be happy. All right.
That's good. That's good to know.
Right. It's good to know. Happiness is a choice, actually. Though sometimes money can bring up happiness. So if you bang down or your phone.
Not completely. There are people who have money and you know.
It depends. That means something else is involved. That means at the moment it's not money. You are not worried about money. But there are some, even sometimes, even if the problem is not money at some point, if one kind of alert you enter your phone, there's no way. For that you smile.
But you know there are people who really don't have a lot, but they found happiness. So it's a thing of the mind, really. Actually, just the choice to be happy. It's a decision. It's this morning. Let's start from developing stories. This morning we're getting updates that the president has arrived Japan for the conference. That was yesterday. He arrived Tokyo, and of course the summit is for 3 days, a 3-day summit, which is scheduled from tomorrow, 28th of August to 22 at the Pacifico Yokohama, and definitely bringing together African leaders, development partners, and global stakeholders, to discuss strategies for Africa's economic transformation. So here, and also Japan there at the arrival, officials is a Terrenial Forum initiated by the Japanese government and co-hosted by the United Nations, the African Union Commission, and the World Bank. It's alternates between Africa and Japan, with Tunisia hosting the last edition in 2022. Yes, and so this year's summit, it has been tagged corporate innovative solutions with Africa, with focus on driving private investment continent. And so it will also be liaising with having bilateral meetings with world leaders and engaging top Japanese. Of course, for any investor or for any bilateral meeting with investors, probably investors in a country, there should be an enabling environment for any investor in a particular country before you are. You can be rest assured that whatever investment you are going to be making, you're at the state of Nigeria to welcome investors. Side forward. Well, the state of Nigeria to welcome investors. I think we have a government that seems extremely committed to seeking for foreign direct investment, and you've seen that most of the trips of the president out of the country has been about looking for investment. Being able to get so far from these trips not clear. We don't have any just being, investors are coming, investors are coming. But you know the thing about life, Sage, and sorry, Lady Mo. The reality is that, look, as a country and in the continent of Africa, we are positioned to naturally have this foreign direct investment. Take for any investor to exactly. Because again, we've got the natural resources, we've got a good weather, we are not really a country that is prone to natural disaster and what have you. We've also got the manpower. Population itself is supposed to be an asset.
Right.
Lady Mo, it's not supposed to be a liability. If you look at regional powers, for example, global regional powers, in North America, for example, America is the largest country you have there in terms of population. And of course, it has the largest economy. In Asia, for example, you have China with the largest economy, the largest population, the largest economy, vibrant, energetic population. So, and this is a country with 44 solid natural mineral resources. We have oil, we have arable land. Lady Mo, what else does a foreign direct investor need that we don't have? Do you know what we don't have? It's why you see that people who have even invested here, some of them are leaving. You have the likes of the end game, the achievements from all of these foreign trades. You understand? And discussion or complete we don't have clarity as to the movement of the president. The president left Nigeria since Friday. He was supposed to leave on Thursday. He left Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday, yes.
And the summit is supposed to have gone to do in Dubai. The only thing they told us that he was going to have a stopover in Dubai. The president would also be proceeding to Brazil. When the president will be returning to Nigeria, we don't know. So what you are going to get again, like we got the last time, was that, look, when they now decide that the president will be returning, they will just announce that the president is coming back. These things are not done this way. Things are not done this way, especially when it comes to the movement of the number one citizen of a country, that is called the president or a prime minister or a government official at that level. But again, it's our own reality. We'll continue to see.
And trying to woo investors to the country is not an effort in fertility, especially when spent they secure, business.
Have you seen the entourage of the president? When he goes on these foreign trips, for example, to keep the president on this trip, his entourage, his aides, for every time he has his aircraft, the presidential aircraft, parked in airports all over the world, the nation. But to what end? That's the question we're asking ourselves. To what end, really? Exactly. What are we really getting from these trips?
Well, started with the Guardian newspaper. Let's progress with the Guardian newspaper, and still across board that the State Department has revoked more than 6,000 international student visas because of violations.
U.S., right?
Yes, U.S. Yes, U.S. State Department. Pardon me. Because of violations of U.S. laws and overstays. That's according to the U.S. State Department, revealing that, saying that vast majority of violations that they have been able to, come with were assault, driving under influence, burglary, and the support for terrorism. And this move is coming as the Trump administration had paused scheduling visa appointment for international students. And in June, when they restarted the appointment, they announced that they would ask all applicants to make, their social media accounts public, governments, institutions, or founding principles of the United States, and also instructing to screen any citizen, advocating who advocate for or aid for or support designated foreign terrorists and other threats to national security, or anyone who perpetrates unlawful anti-Semitic harassment or violence. And as much as Trump has been, rolling out several laws and, being strict about especially outside foreigners, so to say, coming into to give equal response to U.S., tighten visa rules. So according to the U.S. government, the requirement could potentially result in visa denial. But the federal government, in a swift reaction, said that it will reciprocate the new U.S. visa policy with, equal measures. You ask, we got a report also. We talked about the country for citizens first policies and all of that, which we still here trying to replicate and laws on board to protect the country, especially this one where you have to send out your social media handles. You have to see if you
issues here. The first one is that, look, in this anti-immigration drive, one of the areas that they are looking at is to reduce the number of foreign students in the country. You know, that's why, for example, is in a serious battle with war into the U.S. or under U.S. studentship. And, you know, a lot of times when they bring in this talent into the U.S., sometimes it comes with scholarships. You know, so that has always been the foundation, for example, of research, of technology and innovation when it comes to the U.S. They go all over the world, create that multi-diversity, students eventually stay back, you know, to contribute to the development and well-being of the United States of America when it comes to innovation technology. In fact, it thinks that, look, there are Americans who wants to get admission into these schools, but are being denied admission because, again, there are quota reserved for foreign students. You know, it's been a very strong battle. Now have, for example, as it's been announced now, is that, look, 6,000 overstaying your visa, for example. Then, the one that has caught the attention of many, which has no clear, you know, explanation, is support for terrorism. So now, what do they really mean by support? That, look, if you are found to have participated in any protest in support, is why you will see that even schools in the U.S. now, universities in the U.S. are advising their foreign students, don't even try to be a part of it. Stay away to the wars that they are handled. So the things we used to know of the U.S. as a country of freedom of used against you, your solidarity for a cause can be tolerance to freedom of speech and thinking and orientation when it comes to this. In fact, for people who have you visited Gaza before? Have you visited Gaza before? So it's again, this is their own thinking of security, protection of it to secure the country. So it's not left for you once to go to the US to abide by this rule to pass. So it's not even doing any sit-ups when we go there. And if they say this is what they want, you just have to learn to abide by it. And for Nigeria, that is talking about reciprocating in a like manner, US or visiting, you know, on a visiting visa, I think they reduced it to 3 months single entry. Before it used to be 5 years multiple entry. So that's the reality of people for people who want to go into the US, maybe as a student or as a visitor. That's the new rule. We have to learn to abide by it. Things can change tomorrow, but for now, that is the rule.
Let's also pay attention to a better life somewhere outside your country your home that you're supposed to enjoy.
You see, it's not. You see, we are concentrating on the U.S. because, of course, that's the most powerful nation in the world. We are not being treated very well. You know, the green passport has no real value. If you go out there, you understand what I mean. You know, for example, how many to the quality of our passport, and it goes back to how we've been able to treat ourselves. As we speak, we are supposed to be the giant of Africa,
right?
The economic hub, be able to put us out there in a respectable manner. We've just messed everything up.
Well, thank you very much. In trends on the papers on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Let's quickly take a quick walk to Ladoja, the 4th Olubadan. You know, he was speaking with a large crowd of well-wishers filled with trials and only made possible by the grace of God. Hierarchy of Ibadan land, saying that he never imagined destiny would call him to the throne at this time. He admitting that Styọba Owolabi may so continue to rest in perfect peace, saying that it came as a rude shock. Been saying, of course, we know the trend of how Olubadan will come in line, and afterwards, over the years actually, till the 44th Olubadan. And so it was just trying to narrate his journey so far, the traditional journey as the Jagun Balogun Olubadan in 1993, to his current position after over 31 years of dedicated service to the late Olubadan Oba Olakunle of the 4th Olubadan moving forward.
Well, this is him just addressing his subject, his own people, and thanking God who are seen him through tribulations and trials, and then the eventual ascension to the throne. The Olubadan stool captures something very interesting about traditional rulership in Yoruba land, and I think Africa as a whole, where there's a hierarchy. It is known. I think there are two lines to ascending the throne. The Balogun and I think the Othun. Yeah, I think there are two. You can ascend through any of the two. I am not. So you keep coming. You keep coming. You keep coming until it gets to your turn. So as it is now, the next Olubadan is known, even after Ladoja, because it's a hierarchical thing. You know who is next in line. So nobody fights. Nobody. You just know that, look, when this person passes, it comes to my turn. You understand what I'm saying? So I think this is beautiful. It's a nice culture that we've preserved. The Ibadan people have preserved over the years. You know, until recently, there was nothing to the Olubadan stool. It's a very peaceful, seamless process. But I think in recent times, I think under the late governor, Ajimobi, there was this attempt to balkanize the entire system to create multiple stools and what have you. I think the institution, the traditional institution resisted it. I think they should just preserve these things and continue to have us see our culture. It's beautiful to see. You know, when you have a system that is at work seamlessly.
Don't you think we should extend this to other sectors as well? You know, to avoid this particular culture, to imbibe in this existing structure, building a culture where there won't be, you won't get to get leaders from maybe favoritism, out of favoritism, or we have elections, we have, process of electing. And so maintaining that structure and not allowing, as, Olubadan has been emerging over the years.
This is a traditional structure. This is a traditional structure to choosing the Olubadan. There's a political structure. It's just that people don't respect this thing. They try to manipulate it. Every 4 years of choosing a new leader is supposed to be a structure, right?
Right.
And what are we supposed to do? Put yourself up for people to elect you, and then allow the system to work. Let people vote and let their vote count. That's supposed to be a structure that makes a lot of sense. But when you now go into ballot snatching, thuggery, voter suppression, vote buying, and you mess up the whole system.
Oh yes, I do.
So if we take it so you understand what I'm trying to say.
Well, since you have mentioned that, let me just Oba Abimbola Owade yesterday, criticized the decision of the Ooni of Ife, Oba Enito Ogunwusi, to confer the title of Okanlomo of Yoruba land on a businessman named Dotun Sanusi, business networking platform that was held at an hotel in Ibadan. And so conferring the title, the Ooni of Ife described him, the commitment to the cultural economic growth of the Yoruba race, and unparalleled. But the Alaafin reserves the authority to confer that title covering the entire Yoruba land, demanding that the title be revoked within 48 hours or the Oni should face the consequences. Said Fuad. I mean, I love, he argued that the Oni's jurisdictionally limits its traditional areas of authority to Oromiyan local governments, which has now been split into, 3 local governments, the Ife Central, Ife North, and Ife South. And warning against
basically saying that his domain is just Ife Kingdom,
right?
Not anything outside
that
Ife Kingdom
jurisdiction.
Well, I am not very vast when it comes to Yoruba culture and history. So when it comes to these traditional titles of the Ooni of Ife, the Alaafin of Oyo, we have different obas or kings in Yoruba land claiming different things, talking about their powers and their territories, and there's this superiority battle also going on. For example, the Oluwo of Iwo, for example, will also tell you that he's not less of a king to the Alaafin or the Oni of Ife. There's always this story of whether you are from one of the sons of Oduduwa, or a lot of, and so I really don't want to go into history and then just get myself completely confused. For people who know the history, they probably know where I'm trying to drive at. But the issue here is this. I think that, look, our traditional rulers have to be a bit careful the way they carry themselves. I'm just saying, I think that what should have happened was to have a quiet correspondence with the Oni of Ife. That Oni, you did this, but I think that this is way out of your powers. You can confer chieftaincy title, but not for it to be on the entire Yoruba land. I only have the authority to do that. So I'd advise you to make amends and correction going forward. And if there's a need to quote a part of, because what is this said is that the chieftaincy title, that the only one to confer chieftaincy title that covers the entire Yoruba land. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And that's why you saw that when the Fuji musician was to go and become Maibu of Yoruba land, he went to Oyo. You know, he didn't. You understand? Right. I'm talking of Kwamwan. You understand? So, for people who are interested in becoming traditional title teach, maybe there are political implications or whatever implications to some of it is. For me, if you read, you know, until now the Oni of Ife has not responded. Right. According to reports, all efforts to get the Oni to react to that statement from the Alaafin, you know, has not yielded any result. So he has not responded. But the part of that statement where he now said there will be consequences is what got my attention again, caught my attention.
Instance, you know, speaking about
No. What the Alaafin is saying is that, look, when it comes to a chieftaincy title, like you say, if for example I make you the Yalo Day of Antoni village, I now say the more becomes the Yalo Day of Yoruba land. Every Oba can do it in their own domain. So what the Alaafin is saying is that, you can only say Chief so of Ife, not to say of Yoruba land. But Alaafin can give a chieftaincy title that says this is the Babalaje of Yoruba land, and that it can only come from the Alaafin stool of Oyo. They say again, they've quoted the Supreme Court judgment of cooperation with our royal father
and synergy.
Synergy, they work together, you know. So I think that you probably should have just had a very silent correspondence with your Oni of Ife, who may not know. But unless there's been a lot of, maybe there's been a lot of silent battle between them that we don't know. Because the thing looks as if it is even more than this issue. Because in the statement we said that the Oni behaves as if there's nobody that can control it. And that there will be consequences if he does not reverse this chieftaincy title. So what will the consequences? Say, I hope they will not go traditional. I know that it's not as if the Alaafin wants to go to court to challenge that thing.
What else are you not expiring?
So they should calm down, please.
All right.
Our offers should just calm down.
Right.
Just calm down.
Right. A lot of things that we need to talk about. Not now, you know, add more, you know, fire.
Problem to what we already have on ground.
Talks about the third mainland bridge and the money that's been so far planned to be used to repair the request of the 3.6 trillion naira for the rehabilitation of the third mainland bridge in Lagos, that no cost has been determined yet. He was saying this yesterday during his inspection tour to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, and he said that the figures making the rounds in the media were only preliminary estimate from a contractor alone, Julius Berger to be precise, which were never presented to the FEC, that's the Federal Executive Council, for approval. So he's saying that when approval, or you know, tendered it in front of or to the Federal Executive Council, yes. And similarly, he disclosed that the Julius Berger had also suggested that rehabilitating, that's about the Carter Bridge for Antley. The money that we have been talking about has not been approved. It's just like an estimate cost of.
We should not even talk about it. You want to say? If we start to talk about it, you should know. You should know. That's what we are saying. So all of those, we have not even presented. Just one. The estimate itself is ridiculous. That's why we should not even be talking about it. That you have not approved. They have sort of talked. How did we arrive? How did you? I'm not going to. What you are even saying is that whether it's from Julius Berger or from anybody, it should not even come to the table at all. 3.8 trillion, how, where? To renovate or rehabilitate, or I don't even know now, whatever we want to do to the bridge. So, because again, you see, top approving is already activated. You don't be deceived. All this we have not approved. It's just one estimate. Immediately, the process has started. The next thing you hear is that it has been approved. So what we are saying is that figure should not even come to the table at all. In fact, the minister should not have even mentioned it. If he didn't mention it, we will not know now. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If David Umahi did not mention it, we will not know.
Exactly.
The media will not even talk about it. It will just be a piece of paper in his office. But the moment he took it to the media, it meant that no, it was something that way. Up till now, there are still questions about their estimate and calculation on that road. So they should not bring that 3.8 trillion. No, they should not even try it. They should not even, that thing should not even come to the table at all. That's fraudulent and ridiculous.
Well, thank you very much, Said. Let's move ahead. We'll move ahead because if you talk about it, we can use the whole day to talk about that, especially when we compare it to that.
That's what we are saying.
The cost of
3.8 trillion
for the fourth mainland bridge, especially when you compare the cost of the fourth mainland bridge that is almost like 30 kilometers long, and this is just 11.8 kilometers long. Anyway, back to the Punch newspaper. Let's talk about salary raise, pay raise in the Political Office Commission has hinted at plans to review the salaries of political office holders in Nigeria. You know, they described the current earnings as inadequate, unrealistic, and outdated in the face of rising responsibility and economic challenges. And so, during the press briefing yesterday in Abuja, the chairman, RMAFC, Mohammed Shehu, disclosed that President Bola Tinubu, presently earns 1.5 million naira monthly, while Minister, of course, the NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, had kicked against the plans by the commission to review upward the salaries of political office holders, saying that the proposal ignores the controls worsening inequality. It stressed that the commission was not responsible for setting the minimum wage for civil servants or public sector workers, but was constitutionally mandated to determine the salaries of political, judicial, and legislative office holders. I think there is a provision where there should be a review, a couple of years and all of that. But you ask, in the face of the clamor for welfare of several sectors, and the health is there, even pensioners are still battling theirs and all of that. Said, what was your reaction to this?
Now, one fact, that's revenue mobilization fees that are political office holders, from the president, vice president, ministers, legislators, that look, their pay is not enough, their salary. In fact, they have now told us, for people who may not know, that the salary of Nigeria's president is about 1.5 million naira every month. What do you say? That's what they are.
They should just give you that the ending part, 500 part. They should just give you that.
No, it's 1.5 million. That's what they told you, and that it's been like that since 2008. The same thing for ministers, like less than 1 million. So what they are saying is that look, it's time to review this thing of the millionaire salary. Whereas the people he has appointed, like the CBN governor and other institutions, have the CBN governor, for example, to make these recommendations for approval that are political service holders, political office holders, are not paid enough. It's time to review up allowances and other benefits that comes with the office, the perks of office that nobody talks about. That raises the team from the 1 million you are talking about to maybe like 100 million. But again, you and I know that, look, it is not the 1.5 million or 1 million naira that is the reason why people almost kill themselves to get to these public offices. A political office holder in Nigeria. When you see people congratulating you, you should know why they are congratulating you. Everything so it's I don't know really. I don't know how to even address this particular issue.
Maybe we'll break it down later on. Away from
they just say they want to increase their salary, but I know that they don't live on salary. Let's just
It's okay.
About
crisis alerts from the Fudge. UNICEF is seeking life-saving 240 billion naira for Nigeria aid projects. Now, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has warned of an impending humanitarian crisis in Nigeria. That's after a major funding shortfall that threatens critical health, nutrition, education, and water projects across the country. They made this during the 2025 World Humanitarian Day commemoration, and so the UNICEF chief of Maiduguri Field Office, Francis, disclosed that the organization had received only $95 million out of the $225 million that are required for the year mentioned. And he lamented that many communities in the Northeast are already grappling with, floods and even, shrinking services and internally displaced persons scams, the adverse effects of a lot of donors to channel more support to the local government and civil society organizations that provide frontline services. Quickly, side fact. Do you have
just for us to know that, look, these foreign, NGOs, foreign organizations who used to help us with everything and anything are finding it difficult to raise money. For example, the USAID that America pulled out, or, withdrew from. These are where some of these funds come from some of these countries. So they also have their own internal problems. And when it comes to international politics now, everybody seems to want to talk about isolationism. Let's first take care of ourselves before we take care of others. So what they should tell us is that, look, we have to now find a way to take care of ourselves.
The political scene, reports have been showing that there is pressure in the ADC about fielding candidates, presidential candidates, and all of that. And then it would remain united in their mission to transform the country, regardless of who eventually secures the party's presidential tickets in 2020.
Who becomes the presidential candidate? All of these will still work together in 2027. We'll wait to see how that happens.
Well, this interesting story from the Vanguard. Just really want to mention this before we go. 1 in 4 Nigerian fathers not biological parents. I think this is not a new thing. This is what we've been talking about.
But should he be consistent? It's not a new thing.
Georgine, I said it's not. It's a conversation that has been over the years. We've talked. No, that's what I'm saying.
It's not a new thing now.
Of course not. Now, of course not. Okay, what do you want to say?
They say 1 out of 4 men are not the fathers of their children.
But do you know that there are so many factors that, aside,
like what?
There are some. They change children in the hospital now.
We change children in the hospital, so that's the reason you will give.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
That's the reason. They change children in the hospital. This modern era.
Speaking about paternity,
and you don't want to say the real reason that women
both sides, but it's
women are doing that book with men.
That's not
you know what it means. In fact, they say the figures has dropped a bit anyway, because last year I think it was about 27.something% out of the test that was done by this DNA company.
Right.
But what they now said is that, look, for 2024 to 2020, it's claiming to be the father. Women are not trying, You need to say
men too, it's both sides, because she impregnate
herself. How do you blame men in this one now?
Did she impregnate herself? Did she?
Oh, is she impregnant? So if she didn't impregnate, so how do you begin to put somebody's children to another person?
Thank you.
1 out of 4.
Thank you very much for your time. Side fact. Thank you very much.